Hi, my name is Katarina Sullivan and I would like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. Last time I posted on this channel, I was younger, I had fewer businesses, and I referenced Big Shack to explain preferential voting. Here's where I've been. My husband and I currently run 5 businesses. We homeschool our kid, we're on a plane or in a car more weeks than we're not. And somewhere in the middle of all of that travel and homeschooling and other stuff, I kept noticing the same thing over and over again in conversations I was having, in comments people were making at events and the headlines. There's a strong misunderstanding of how this country actually runs. And that's not a judgment. I mean, why would you know this if nobody ever properly explained it to you? That is on us as a country, not on the individuals. So we're bringing this series back because right now more people are paying attention to Australian politics than I have seen in years, which is awesome. But paying attention without understanding the machinery underneath undermines your ability to be an informed, engaged citizen. Can mean you end up reacting to information without fully understanding it, and we don't want that to happen. This series is how we fix that together. We'll work through it all, concept by concept, in these short, bite-sized videos that help teach you about how the Australian political system works. Let's start at the very beginning. What is democracy, and why does ours look like this? Most people think democracy means the people vote and the majority wins. It's not totally wrong, but it's about 10% of the actual answer. A democracy is a system for making collective decisions where power comes from the people being governed, rather than from birth, force, divine right, or whoever has the most money. That's the whole ballgame. Everything else, elections, parliaments, preferential voting, it's just the machinery built to make that idea of democracy actually function at the scale of 26 million people. There is no single blueprint for democracy. Every democratic country has had to answer the same design question. How do you take the concept of power belongs to the people and turn it into an actual functioning system that does not collapse the first time someone disagrees? Australia's system is a hybrid. We took 2 different traditions and mashed them together. It's a bit like if you combined your nonna's sugo recipe with your mother-in-law's sugo recipe and just kind of hope it worked. It's dinner time and I'm thinking about sugo. The first ingredient in the Australian political system is the Westminster system, borrowed from Great Britain. This gives us a parliament, a prime minister who is not directly elected by the whole country, but who leads the party that can command the confidence of the House of Representatives, or the lower house, and government that is drawn from and accountable to Parliament itself. The second ingredient is federation, borrowed largely from the American model. This gives us a divide between federal and state power, and a Senate that exists specifically to represent the states, not just the electorates. Those 2 systems do not naturally get along. Westminster assumes one central parliament, and federation assumes power split across multiple governments who are wary of each other. Australia's whole structure is basically the result of forcing those 2 philosophies to shake hands in 1901 and stay married ever since. And it has been a long marriage. There has been counselling, and we call that counsellor the High Court. This is why Australia has 2 houses of parliament instead of 1, why you'll vote for the Senate or upper house and you'll vote for the House of Representatives or lower house work completely differently, and why a party can win the most votes nationally and still not have enough power to just do whatever it wants. Also important to note that voting here in Australia is compulsory. Australia made a specific decision back when plenty of comparable countries did not, that a democracy only properly represents its people if its people are actually required to show up. Not required to vote for anyone in particular, just required to turn up and be counted. That single decision changes almost everything about how Australian politics behaves compared to a country like the United States, where turnout is optional and campaigns are mostly built around convincing people to bother showing up at all. Here, everyone already has to show up, so the fight is about persuasion for your vote, not attendance. We will go deep on compulsory voting and upper house and lower house and preferential voting, all the mechanics in the episodes ahead. Today is just about shaping the thing. Australia's democracy is not one clean idea. It's 2 different systems of government forced together, held in place by a constitution, and kept honest by compulsory participation. Once that concept sits in your head properly, the rest of this series is just filling in the machinery underneath and the bits of jargon, and we'll go through that piece by piece. Next month, we're going back to 1901 and properly pulling apart the Constitution, including the bits it very deliberately does not mention. If there is a term you keep hearing in the news and you've never quite had it explained before, drop it below or send me a message. There's a very good chance it becomes an episode. See you next month. Bye for now.